Thank you very much. And on behalf of the Venezuelan people, we are very grateful, we are humbled, and we know we can count on the Indian people for a peaceful transition to democracy and freedom in Venezuela. Thank you.
Amazing. We all saw the excerpt of how this news was broken to you, the surprise that was written all over your face, your voice. You were stunned into silence. Has it sunk in now? It's been over a week.
Well, to be honest, I'm still trying to understand what this means. Of course, it was an absolute surprise. As you are aware, we have been fighting for 26 years against a terrible tyranny that has committed crimes against humanity, that practices state terrorism, that has destroyed Venezuela, that used to be one of the wealthiest nations in the Western Hemisphere, and that has now poverty of over 86% of our population and has forced a third of our people to flee for survival. So, we have been fighting for so long, organizing, putting a country back together. And the fact that the international community and the Nobel Committee recognize this struggle it's absolutely huge. And it's going to be a very significant boost for this final stage that we are right now, moving into a peaceful and orderly transition. So I am still trying to process what this means for our country, for our people, and certainly for my life, for the rest of my life, and the responsibility that this involves.
Absolutely. You've been in hiding and have been in hiding for a long time. Your life is in danger. The government in Venezuela is not backing down. The opposition won the elections, but you're not in power. You have to hide. How do you deal with this? Is it something that puts pressure on you, given the fact that this fight is nowhere near closure yet?
Well, I do think it's close. I think it's very close, finally. As you said, on July 28, 1924, we won a presidential election by a landslide. I had been previously elected as the primary winner to be the opposition candidate. I won with 93% of the votes, but the regime banned me from running as a candidate. So a very courageous and honest man, a life career diplomat, accepted this huge responsibility and honor. And we won. And not only we won with 70% of the votes, but we were able to prove it. We gathered all 85% of the original tally sheets. We digitized them. We put them in a very robust web page for the whole world to see the actual images that prove our victory. People thought it was impossible to defeat the Maduro regime, who has put in place scam elections for 20 years. But we were able to do it, organizing citizens with this huge citizen movement that wants to live with dignity, that wants our country to be free, but most of all, we want our children coming back home. Venezuelans are all around the country forced to flee, and we want to have reunited our families in a nation that is proud, peaceful, and prosperous. So once we won, we offered Maduro the possibility of a negotiated transition in which we offer guarantees. But he refused. And in the country, he unleashed the worst repression wave we've seen in our history. Thousands of innocent Venezuelans were disappeared. Their houses were marked with crosses in their doors. Children, women, that were abused, tortured, even killed. And I was accused of terrorism. So I had to go into hiding, as did most of the political leaders and human rights activists in my country, journalists, and so on. So I've been almost 15 months in absolute isolation. I am on my own. But I'm working very hard, and certainly through this uh, via that we are using right now, I'm in contact with thousands and thousands and thousands of Venezuelans in my country and around the world, and we're determined to have the sovereign will of our population respected, and that's going to happen very soon.
You're saying it is going to happen very soon, yet you're in hiding. Uh, do you fear? Do you fear for your safety, Miss Machado? What keeps you going?
Oh, I have absolute trust in the Venezuelan people. You know, I've heard so many times people tell me it's impossible to achieve what we had in mind. And we set, yes, it's very challenging goals, but we have been achieving them one after the other. They thought it was impossible to bring a country back together, to have it organized, to bring back the will to fight, to do it peacefully, and also to have the support of the international community. Look where we are right now. Maduro is weaker than ever. The only thing he has left is repression, violence. And yes, he has a few, very few individuals that still support him in the top brass of the military and his financial enablers and front men that have been robbing and stolen all Venezuelan resources on their behalf and have a country starving while they have huge, obscene amounts of money all over the world. But now the world has understand what we have said during many years. This is not a conventional dictatorship. It is a criminal narco-terrorist structure, and Maduro is the head of that structure. And finally, we're seeing the international community addressing Maduro as it should, applying all the force of international justice, is law enforcement. And once you cut these flows from narco trafficking, gold smuggling, arms smuggling, even human trafficking, once you cut those flows, incoming into the regime, then these structures start to crack down. And that's what we're seeing right now. By the hour, we're seeing more and more defections, treasons, and fights and confrontation among the different groups that build this criminal structure head by Maduro.
Miss Machado, I want to ask you, we've seen in this part of the world, in Asia, Aung San Suu Kyi earlier, trying to bring about, a fight within her own country. How convinced are you that you will be able to do this peacefully, given that the opposition that you're up against hasn't given up for so long, so much so that you have been forced to go into hiding? Peacefully, of course, India is the land of non-violence, and we've attained our freedom through non-violence, and Mahatma Gandhi was known for it. But are you sure peaceful ways will succeed?
Peaceful is not weakness, and Mahatma Gandhi showed us, the whole humanity, what that meant. Certainly, to have peace, you need freedom. And in order to have freedom, you need strength. And that's moral strength, that is spiritual strength, and certainly physical strength in organization. Venezuela, I would dare to say that it's perhaps one of the most cohesive societies in the world. We do not have religious differences, racial tensions, regional or political or even social differences. 90% of our population want the same. We want to live with dignity. We want to live with justice, with solidarity, certainly with freedom, and we want all children back home. This is so powerful. And that's a reality as well in the military and in the police. And certainly Maduro has stayed in power by force because he felt that he was, for forever, there would be this absolute impunity for their acts. Acts that have been denounced by the fact-finding missions of the United Nations as crimes against humanity, and terrorism of state as has been declared by the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights. I mean, the whole world knows the kind of criminals these individuals are. But now, with a firm action on behalf of the United States and the Trump administration and this coalition that has been building with countries in Latin America, in the Caribbean, in Europe, I hope in Asia as well, Maduro has started to understand that his time is over and that his best option is to accept the terms of a negotiated transition with guarantees that we have offered.
Fantastic. But we're also speaking at a time when the United States under President Trump has been striking suspected cartel boats off the Venezuelan coast. More than 24 people have lost their lives. Do you endorse this? Because the Americans are not backing down anytime soon.
Well, you have to understand that it was Maduro who declared war towards the Venezuelan people. We didn't want a war. We don't want a war. We want to live in peace and freedom, and we want the sovereign will of our people expressed in the ballots to be respected. I mean, we have insisted we don't want violence. We don't want firearms hitting our people. We want to be respected our will. But Maduro not only declared a war on the Venezuelan people, he declared a war also in two democratic countries in the Western, including the United States, using narco-terrorism as a tool to undermine their democratic institutions. So who started this war is Maduro, and he's the one responsible for everything that's taking place as we speak in the Caribbean. So as Maduro started this war, we expect and we hope and we believe that many countries led by the United States will help us stop this war, a war towards the Venezuelan people and also to many other people in our region.